What's up guys, welcome back to another video. It's time for the patch note review of the launch patch 1.0 and I'm just gonna jump straight into it here. We have Sage getting changed, we have some Omen changes, Raise, we have a new agent called Reyna, we have a new map, new mode, and yeah, a few more things, but I'm gonna go right into it here and just knock down every bit. So starting with Sage, Healing Orb, cooldown increase from 35 to 45 seconds. This is pretty fine, I think. It's pretty nice that they still have the same amount of healing. They didn't change that, just a cooldown, which feels like it was too lenient, you know, the 35-second compared to 45-second, which makes 45-second, no, the 45-second change makes it more based on decision making now compared to before. Like before you just use it on cooldown pretty much. Now you have to be careful with who you heal and when you heal them, because if you heal yourself by mistake or you heal someone else and your buddy at 5 HP, 10 HP, whatever, they will suffer for a longer time, and maybe that push that you want to do doesn't end up happening. And it's more crucial to be mindful of what you're doing with your healing orb now. Next up, Barrier Orb. Segment health reduced from 1k to 800. Which means that like small bars, they're now 800 HP, which is pretty nice. It makes it much easier to spam them down, and it makes them just last less as well. Duration reduced from 40 to 30 seconds. That's super nice. I feel like in higher MMR, it won't make that huge of a difference because you can just spam them down, and that's usually what you do. But in lower MMR, and lower ranks, I guess is what you say, that's where it will matter a lot, because it's not intuitive to spam them down. It's not always you can do it either, and I just like this. It makes Sage boosting herself much less valuable as well. Friendly Barrier Orb now shows on the minimap, which is super nice, because there has definitely been some rounds where I want to push, and I see my Sage running back. I say, okay, she's just rotating, whatever. And then I see a friendly wall there, and then I'm stuck, or I either have to rotate back or I have to push, and it's just annoying, you know. But if it's on the minimap, I can pre-plan, be proactive, and move, you know, create a new plan, adapt. Next up, Raise Blast Pack. Maximum damage radius reduced from 2 to 1 meters. This is super nice because, well, not super nice, actually. It's fair, I think, because it makes it much more important to be precise where you send out your blast pack. Obviously, that's a thing now, but it also implies that you can't just pick a raise and kill anyone with abilities as much. And that's sort of what Riot has always wanted with Valorant. They don't want abilities to take the space or the foreground. They want gunplay to be in the center, and then abilities to complement the gunplay. So, for example, if you're hiding around a corner, a deep corner, a blast pack is not going to destroy you. And yeah, you have to be much more precise. Next up, Jet Cloudburst. Smoke duration increased from 4 to 7 seconds. That's insane. Almost doubling the duration, which I feel like is very good. It's very healthy, I think. I'm not sure how it will pan out long term, but so far in ranked, for example, when you would have a Jet on your team, no other smokes, it's pretty much like having no smokes, because there's 4-second smokes. And if someone would pick Jet, it felt pretty underwhelming because of no utility, much more mobility. And giving her longer duration on the smokes is very healthy, I think. It makes it so that you don't have to use Brimstone if you really don't want to play Brimstone. Or maybe you don't want Omen. You don't need Omen. Tailwind automatically breaks Cypher's trapwires after being briefly revealed. And I totally agree with this. If you go for Tailwind right into one of them, sure, break it. It's going to show her for a tiny bit of time, and I think it's fair. You can counterplay it, you can shoot her, and it'll be fine. All right, next up. Phoenix. Blaze duration increased from 6 seconds to 8 seconds. And It's not going to be a huge difference. It's going to be nice though, because it'll give you more time to think. But the higher up you go in ranks, the more players will think proactively. They will create a plan while running, for example. So they won't run and then put up the wall and then think. But in lower ranks, where it's not intuitive, everything, or it's not intuitive in the game design, everything, I mean, and in lower ranks, for example, let's say that you want to do a flash play, and you want to flash through the wall, but you don't exactly know where the enemies are. Well, now you have a bit more time to think, but also look at the minimap, talk with your teammates, set up that flash, make sure that you are positioned properly. And also gives more healing, right? Yeah. So blaze damage, 15 damage every 0.25 seconds, change to 1 every 0.033. Yeah. And same with healing. I think maybe it's not really boosting anything. It's more like just scaling properly. And yeah, it says these damage over time / healing over time models are updated to match the recent change in our other dot abilities, which is fine. Hot ends. And that's the self-healing. 3 heals, well, 3 HP every 0.25 seconds, increase to 1 HP every 0.08 seconds, which is much more nicer, I think, because it makes it so that it makes it much more consistent, I think, and much more reliable for sure. I like having smaller updates much more frequently instead of big updates less frequently. Curveball, that's a flashbang. Max flash duration increased from 0.8 seconds to 1.8 seconds, which is nice. And it'll allow Phoenix to put his crosshair on the head, you know? Instead of Odyssey being punished for not having that godlike government experiment aim, like Shroud has, for example, well, now instead, you will have some time to aim. And I mean, if you are a defender and you get flashed or whatever, like attacker getting flashed, you'll still be able to counterplay. It's all about positioning when it comes to the flashbang, and I think it's fair to give him 1.1 seconds. I think it's fair. Especially, like the devs mentioned, it costs 200 credits more. And instead of 100 as before. Run it back, automatically reloads all weapons on respawn. That's super nice. I'm not sure if this implies that if you have no ammo, it won't reload, or it'll give you ammo back. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I think it doesn't give you ammo back. Omen Paranoia is now equipped instead of Quick Cast, and Paranoia is the flashbang. You know, the one that comes as a projectile, right? And it'll allow you to be able to set up the Paranoia without feeling like you're messing up the cast or something. Like if an enemy is moving, or if you are flicking or whatever, you know, if you just want to be ready. And then we have Dark Cover. Omen now enters a phaser world where he can see through walls to place his smokes, and pressing reload toggles between phased and normal targeting. And this is a nice change. I haven't tested this yet myself, but it's a nice change because it definitely felt like it was too difficult sometimes to put up the smoke, because you have to aim up, you have to watch out for roofs, you have to watch out for small edges that the smoke can get caught on. And this will allow you to be much, much, much more precise, and also allow you to set up those one-way smokes that you so much want to set up without having to almost guess, you know, while gaming. And Dark Cover controls have been updated, where Omen can now increase smoke distance with primary fire and decrease it with secondary fire, and throw smoke with the ability key. I think that's whatever. I'm already used to E and you know, the old keybinds, but it's fine. I think I like that a lot, especially because it's just more intuitive. We have Shrouded Step. Omen can now see his teleport location on the map and receives an in-world indicator of where he's targeting when his vision is off the point is obstructed. And I think this could be, for example, if this could be a good way to see if someone has line of sight on you. For example, if you want to teleport into a teammate's line of sight so they can cover you, or if you want to teleport across, let's say, a choke point, but you're not sure if on the minimap enemies can see you, or if they can't see you, and yeah, it just makes your planning a lot more consistent. From the shadow, Omen can now cancel his teleport while in shield form by pressing the ability key again. Omen still loses all of his ult points if he cancels, and this is, oh man, I like this a lot, because if you use teleporter, we have all been in that scenario where you teleport in and there's 4-5 people waiting for you, all looking at you, and you're just thinking, oh man, I shouldn't be here. And you want to cancel, but you can't. So this is just a really, really, really nice bailout, you know? Super nice bailout. Sound visualization. And here it says, we brought in more sounds made by agents under the categories of sounds that display their audio distance on the minimap via this white circle. This includes ability sounds, reloads, spike interactions, and much more. And it just gives you a good idea of what enemies can hear on the other side of the wall. For example, dropping the spike, I mean, it says there, but dropping the spike, for example, is a huge one. You can hear immediately if a spike is dropped somewhere. If you hear it outside of B on split, for example, well, you know they are not gonna come A with spike. They might have people on A, but the spike outside of B makes it so that, we can decide if we want to push mid, if we want to push A and come from behind, flank, etc. You have a lot more room, basically. And it's good that they show it, make it more accessible and easy for new players, especially new players, to learn. Map updates. Introducing a new map, Ascent. Ascent is a map set in Italy that features a large open middle area that both teams can skirmish over. Mid is a playground for diverse ability use, and successfully controlling the area opens additional routes for attackers to both spike sites. Okay. So, I've been playing Ascent a bit, and it's a crazy map. Not crazy in a bad way, it's very complicated. It can be very complicated, especially because you have doors that you can open and shut, and man, it adds a lot of different interesting strategies that you can go for, set up for, execute for. For example, if you play Cypher on, I think it was B site, yeah, then you can shut the door. You can have your camera there. It forces the enemies to rotate around or destroy the door, which buys you time for teammates to rotate to you. And there's just so much you can do with that door, especially if you're attacker and the door has not been shut and you plant a spike and you shut it, dude. It's going to be fun to see what happens on split and how the metagame changes over time there. We will have a bit more Ascent in the matchmaking rotation, it says here, because there's more people who want to play the map, and yeah, just more opportunities. Split reconstructed mid choke point. We felt like defenders were able to effectively plug up their main choke point in mid for a large percentage of the round. The new layout hopes to alleviate the issue. These changes open up the space quite a bit and provides an additional path to get around stalling abilities like Sage Wall, Brimstone Smokes, Mollies, Sage Slow. And it also gives attackers a few different angles to help siege B tower and vents. And right off the bat, I love this already. It's not crazy nerf, buff, whatever. It's just, I think, more fair, to be honest. Race, for example, is not as strong anymore there. So that's nice. Then we have some memes here. That's fine. Haven Bind Split Ascent. Expanded our new system that combats map exploits to all other maps. This will eradicate anyone trying to escape play space. Continue to fix collision in order to enhance level collision in order to enhance the smoothness of gameplay space. Completed draw call optimizations, and yeah, just optimizing the map, and also making sure that no one can escape the map with Sage, Omen, Cypher not setting up spy cams outside of the map, or crazy cams that are very unfair. Bug cameras, for example. Competitive mode update. Competitive mode will not be on launch. I'm sure everyone knows this already, but it will want to work on the comp mode a bit, and they say a few patches into the launch, which I assume is 2 to 3 patches, which would be 2 to 6, no, 4 to 6 weeks. So maybe a month or so from now on, we will have comp mode. Then there's some performance updates here. I'm not going to go through them all because it's a lot of, how to say, tech talk that I'm not very well versed in. But I would go into this if you, for example, have a potato PC and you want to check it out, like see, okay, is my FPS going to be better before I download this, or is my FPS going to be good before I upgrade my PC, whatever, you know. I can say that right off the bat, it's insane. I have 400 FPS, 500 sometimes, fine. And that's on all low settings as well. Then we have some quality of life here. And for example, dying to a non-enemy player will no longer grant ultimate points, which means that if you don't die to an enemy, if you use, for example, raise nades or brimstone molly or phoenix molly, whatever, and you kill yourselves on round 2 after losing first round, you don't get ability points, for example. If you die to the spike, you don't get ability points. Just overall nice, I think. Then there's chat restrictions, pretty healthy things here coming in. Reporting, stuff like that. HUD UI, some changes there, bugs, a lot of bugs, and yeah. All right, and then we have Reyna, and there was nothing about Reyna here, which was underwhelming. No, actually there is. No, never mind, there isn't. So they haven't updated, but yeah, we managed to find it on Liquipedia. Reyna, she's a pretty cool agent. She seems like a snowball agent that relies on high progressive plays, which I love. And let's start with the first ability, Devourer. It's a basic ability, has 4 charges. Enemies killed by Reyna leave behind a soul orb, or leave behind soul orbs that last 3 seconds. So it's an orb that sits on the location of where they die for 3 seconds, instantly consuming a nearby soul orb, rapidly healing for a short duration. Health gained through this skill exceeding 100 will decay over time, which means that you can overheal and it'll go down, like Viper Poison. If Empress is active, this skill will automatically cast and not consume this soul orb. And Empress, that's her ultimate. We'll get to the ultimate soon though. Dismiss, basic ability, 4 charges, instantly consume a nearby soul orb, becoming instangible for a short duration. If Empress is active, also become invisible. Instangible means you become invulnerable, basically. But it's not OP, definitely not OP, and you can notice very, very easily when she is using Dismiss. It's more like an ability to disengage if you just go super aggro and you have like 2, 3, 4, 5 players coming into you, you get 1 kill, you can use Dismiss and get out. Very nice. Instead of getting tagged and then destroyed. We have a Leer. That's a 2 charge ability. Equip an ethereal destructible eye. Activate to cast the eye for a short a short distance forward. The eye will nearsight all enemies who look at it. So if you try to look, if you remember, maybe if you have seen the Cassiopeia from League or something like that, it's pretty much the same mechanic. If you look at it, then you get blinded. It's like a flashbang. It comes out very quick, and it's not too difficult to deal with it. It's definitely not too difficult to deal with it. And you just hide away and you'll be fine. You can also bait out Reyna to push in if you notice that she's clinging around that ability. And then we have Empress. 6 ultimate points. Instantly enter a frenzy, increasing firing, equipping, and reload speed dramatically. Which means that if you, reload the speed is very important, but also equipping, because if you shift from knife to a weapon, pistol to weapon, your main gun, whatever, much quicker. And it's very nice because it allows very quick-minded players to thrive. I'm sure that's a full sentence there. Gain infinite charges of soul harvest abilities, scoring a kill renews the duration, which is insane. If you manage to get kills, that's the thing. You gotta manage to get the kills, and it's very easy to overextend. So I feel like she's more like a glass cannon, if that makes sense. She's a glass cannon. She's not very tanky. She doesn't have very much to deal with, to do if you play defensive with her. You gotta engage with her, otherwise, you know, GG's. And yeah, this has been a pretty nice update for the launch, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Hope you guys have great games. Let me know how it goes. If you guys enjoy Reyna, let me know. If you guys enjoy Ascent, let me know. If you don't enjoy, I'd also like to know. And we will have a few videos coming out for Cypher traps, Cypher cameras. We have different other videos as well. And yeah, it'll come out pretty soon. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you later.